game. What even is this mess? So this is a game that I would absolutely love to hate. It is weird. It's bizarre. Everything has weird names. There's very little there's very little background that you're presented with. You're just given a bunch of weird names by a bunch of weird looking mutant people and robots and aliens and all this weirdness. Maybe not aliens, I don't know. But it's like dropping you right in the middle of a hardcore sci-fi book without the chapters of exposition. Now, if you want exposition, it's there if you dig, and you can really get in there. You're in a solar system like ours. There's an Earth. We have all the main planets. They look very different than how they look now. Like maybe there's been some terraforming or something. It is bizarre. The characters look weird. That's my guy. He looks like a weird rhinoceros beetle man. He doesn't even freaking have eyes. It's just I would love to hate this game. And to be fair, I did initially. I really did not like this game. When I loaded it up on my PC, it ran great. I mean, it looks great. You can't deny that even on older systems, even on the Switch, this thing looks sharp. This game looks amazing. You can customize your character, but he has this kind of general appearance, so you can tell what characters are what. You can kind of change his helmet a little bit, give him a longer horn. A lot of it, this is free to play. It's absolutely free to play, which is great, and you can absolutely play this game free to play. As far as I can tell, the pay to win variables in here are not terribly high. Yes, you can pay to upgrade your weapons and make them stronger, but really there's not a whole lot of PvP here. Really the only PvP that you deal with is over here at this kind of, you have like games you can play. They have like a soccer game, and you have like a Annihilation game you can play. And even then, for the Annihilation, you're given kind of some basic weapons. So there's really not a whole lot of pay to win on the player versus player side, because there's just not a whole lot of player versus player. And what is player versus player is moderated to the point where you're all pretty much equal. Except for your actual ability to play, which I like. Okay, it's good. Some thought went into that, and I do appreciate that. I mean, look, I got like floaties just floating around in here. It's like I'm underwater or something. It's nasty. Got like friggin' anthrax floating around the air or whatever this stuff is. Anyway, so yes, you can pay to upgrade your character. I have never dropped a red cent into this game, and I don't have any plans to do so. That's not to say that I don't actually admittedly like this game. So what the crap even is this? So you've got so much going on. You have factions. You have New Laverian Lavos. What even is that? You have it's just, so your character, this race of characters or class of characters, whatever, is called a Tenno, which, as far as I can understand, means space ninja. And you are fighting against a faction called the Grenier and a faction called the Corpus. But then other times they're on your side while you're fighting the other side, and like enemy of my enemy is my friend. It gets confusing. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and I'll show you why I actually absolutely love this game. So I played on the PC for a while, until my PC fried. Then we got the Switch, and that was like the only gaming system I had. So this was like my go-to game on the Switch, because it is an absolute joy to play. And that's where I get frustrated, because I want to hate this game, but the gameplay is so freaking good. The character control, his ability to absolutely lay down damage, is beyond anything I've ever played before. I mean, this is like, it's ridiculous. And I'll show you what I mean. I mean, you're basically an untouchable god of destruction in this game. And as you progress through the solar system, You start out on Earth, then you go to Venus, then you go to Mercury, then you can get to Mars and Jupiter, and it just kind of spider webs out. You begin to run into more difficult challenges, but depending on the character you pick and the build that you build in your character, because you can customize every stinking inch of the weapons that they're using, the abilities of your character. That's not to say your character has set abilities. He has 4 set innate abilities that you have to level up to unlock all of them. But you can mess with their effectiveness, how long their status works, how powerful, how much damage they put out. You can kind of tinker with your character. So right now, because I've just kind of started on the Xbox here, I've got Earth and Venus. I'm just starting out basically. So you can play with others. It's PvE with the help of the public. Mostly they're going to be high level guys that are going to run, like, just sprint from point A to point B. That's not my play style. I like to play solo. So let's go over here. I've already played this a few times, once or a dozen. But we're going to do an exterminate mission because I think that's where this game really shines. There's a bunch of different types of missions. A lot of them are like escort from point A to point B with, like break into the prison, get the guy out, and then escort him to the exit. Or protect this area, defend this area. But the exterminate, I mean, that's where this game shines. You are here to just wreck. And if you don't kill almost 100 enemies by the end of this thing, you're not doing your job. A lot of these things have ammo and stuff that you can get off of them. They also have resources. You use the resources to build new weapons. So you want to collect everything you possibly can. But I mean, look at this. Look at that cape. It looks tight, smooth. I prefer this character because he's got this wicked sword and he has all kinds of attacks he can do with it. But he's also, this is my stealth build. He's got a bow for stealth. And he has got this crazy sword. He has got, sorry, my phone was chirping. I was taking a look at it. He's got this thing. I just added this pistol. Usually he has kunai, like freaking Naruto, little throwing knife things. I don't think you can use them in melee, so it's not really, it is what it is. I can hear somebody walking around down there. But his abilities are at the bottom left of the screen, or bottom right of the screen. He has 4 attacks, right? So if we go over here, check our abilities, let's see what he's got. So he has a slash dash, which chains attacks between enemies. Honestly, I do not use this as much as I should because they die so easy. I mean, you literally just like slap, 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 and they're dead anyway. So chaining attacks, maybe when I'm in a higher level. Well, when I'm dealing with higher level enemies, but at this point, nah, I have no need for it. Radial blind is awesome if you're getting teamed up on by multiple enemies because it kind of freezes them in place. And then you can you can just eat their lunch. Radial javelin, also, if you're getting teamed up on, you hit that, it just pins them all to the walls around you. It just murks everybody. And then this is where this character shines. This is when, okay, I've had enough. I've had a bad day at work. I hate everything and everyone. I whip this thing out and nothing stands in your way. This character is probably way overpowered and I don't even care. I mean, that's the thing I love about him. I will go against bosses like this giant robot dog looking thing that stomps up on everybody. My son Tristan always has a little bit of trouble with him. This guy, I get underneath him, I whip this thing out, and that thing is dead in seconds. I mean, it is just the most overpowered, ridiculous. You swing the sword, it does damage if it contacts, but it also shoots this slash of energy straight out, and that does enough damage singularly to kill single enemies, no problem. So you get into a group and you just start swinging and you're just murdering everything. You didn't even care. So and it lasts for, I think I have it up to 1.5 minutes now. I mean, you can go through a good portion of your map just swinging that thing around and whooping up. So let's actually get to the killing here. There's a guy. Look at him down here. Poor little thing. The bow here, not only is it silent, but it pins them to whatever is behind them, so you can get some hilarious physics out of this thing. Oh, we got an enemy drop. Nice. Can't really take these things down as far as I know, but it's fun to shoot at. You get so much ammo off of the bad guys that you never have to worry about running out. I mean, ever. Oop, I'm gonna hide. So the movement here, I mean, look at this. You got your jumps, but there's also a time slow effect. But actually, it only just slows you. But when you are jumping and you use your aim. Oh, somebody thinks they know I'm here. All right. Well, let's say hi to everybody. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can just walk through the map and nothing can touch you. I hear you. Where you at? Oh, there you are. Float. What are you gonna do? You're gonna die. That's what you're gonna do. Sad, sorry, little robot man. Yeah, you're kind of a jerk, but it's so much fun. And like I said, you had a bad day at work, you're upset, you need to de-stress. This thing right here, you just absolutely are the master of your environment. Like, it is their worst day in the history of days when you load into the server and just start eating them alive. So, it is fun. It does take a little bit of concentration. The moves are... chaining moves together can be a little focus intensive. It's not difficult in any way, but you do have to kind of focus. There's the one thing that makes exploration in this game worth it, and the main reason that I don't like being the guy that runs from point A to point B as fast as possible, is there are treasures you can pick up. And these treasures sell on the online marketplace. You can sell them here in the game to other players, and other players will typically pay money for them. I don't even know why, and I don't even care why. You get these statues. They are usually hidden in really well hidden places, hard to find places. Stealth kill. They're usually in really hard to find places, so exploration is a must, like up in here and stuff. I mean, you will find them absolutely in the darkest, deepest corner. Uh-oh. Stuck here for a sec. You can grip to walls, because of course you can. But yeah, they'll hide them in like really out of the way places. I didn't see any up there. Let me get up here anyway. This is fun. It's worth it just to play around. But yeah, they'll hide them in way out of way places, like up here. And you get these things, you attach some jewels that drop randomly from crates and sell them, and you can sell them for the in-game platinum. And that'll allow you to buy cosmetics, like this cool looking cape thing that that I got. There's also always a whole bunch of like promotions and stuff. Keep an eye on online codes, because you'll randomly get cosmetic items. But the other reason to store up what they call platinum, which is the in-game real money currency, is to unlock Warframe slots. And what that's good for is having additional Warframes. So you can tailor your Warframe to your mission. So like some Warframes are better at defense, whereas this, like this one's perfect for a mission like this. He is perfect for sneaking in, clapping cheeks, and getting out, right? I mean, he is stealthy, he's fast, he is as deadly as you want him to be. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to drop down there. I still have a guy alive up there. If you leave somebody alive for too long, they can decide to go turn on the alarms and locks doors, and you have to do this little context puzzle thing that's more irritating than anything, especially when you have to do a bunch of them. But yeah, they'll come over to one of these, set off the alarms, and call out additional enemies, which in my opinion is fun and good, but you have to play their stupid little unlock the door game, and that's just irritating. So I think I've cleared everything out of here. Yeah, that's where I came from. Okay. Alright, so that's locked. But I can look in here and be like, ooh, hey, looks like there's some good stuff in there. So, look over here. Air duct. Is that... Nope. Nope, air duct didn't do it. So, the levels are modular in that... Okay, here we go, That's how you get in there. You will run across the same rooms pretty frequently, but the rooms, like their layouts, what rooms they attach to, is always different. So every time you get in here, you're gonna run across, you're gonna have a different room set up, a different path to take. It's never really confusing because it's not hard to use, but yeah, I hear you running around down there. Just running his mouth, the robot speak. Sounds like a speaking spell. That's the other thing. They speak in a different language too. So, and it's not like a human language as far as I can tell. It's not like they're speaking Russian or something. They are speaking some sort of weird sci-fi robot thing. So you don't know what they're saying. You can kind of get what they're talking about from their inflection, I suppose. But you know, there's a lot of, it's just like a really steep learning curve as far as what's going on and who is on your side and who isn't, and they start talking about stuff and you're like, what are you even saying? But then you get to the mission and you just start murdering everything around you. So as you can tell, I like the spin attack, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, it's smooth and it moves you forward quickly, but two, it actually does more damage. There are, let me see if I can find that. There are a list of, anyway, your weapon has a list of different values for damage, and one of them is slide attack or slash, and that is done by doing this attack, and I like to rank that one up because it's smooth, and so you can kill most anything in one slide unless it's a boss, so, or a mini boss. They do have little mini boss things that run around. You can get stuff off of them. They're more commonly seen in the excavation missions, which is where you go to a point in the map. Oh heck yeah! Let's do this. Exalted Blade time. Oh come on. There we go. Hey, over there. What are you doing? See, I wasn't even anywhere near him and he gets chopped down. Where's your buddies? There they are. So anyway, excavation missions where you go to a point in the map and it drops a little excavator. And you have to kill enemies to get fuel. Some of them carry fuel on their back, conveniently. And once you get that fuel, you keep your machine running. It runs for a set period of time. All the enemies keep spawning trying to destroy it. So you keep them from destroying it. You use them to keep it running. Hold on for a second. Put that away. There we go. Anyway, you use them to keep it running. Once it has run its course, it will drop not a rare item, but a valuable item. And you can use that item for your crafting or whatever. And it'll pop up a new one. It'll pop up an exit to the map saying you can leave if you go this direction, or you can go that direction and you can drop another device and start it all over again. And you can do it ad nauseum. The boss or the enemies do get a little more difficult each time you do it, so at some point it just becomes more hassle than it's worth and you leave. And at no point does it become impossible, that's for sure. So one of my favorite, absolute stinking favorite things about this is if you have an enemy and they're way out there, you can like literally just hawk on them. I can shoot them with my bow right now, but it's more fun to come out of nowhere and just drop on them like a pile of bricks. I missed there. That was my bad. Practice makes perfect, etc. But yeah, don't blow those up, even though they look like the other barrels I've been hitting. That one's full of cold things and will damage your shields. And then there's the red barrels, obviously. Those things will mess you up. But from distance. Let's see. Yeah, that will kill about everything in the area. Then we'll do this guy. Yeah, that one's an angry barrel. That's a one hit. I'm ticked. I'm gonna blow your face off. I mean, there's just such a freedom in the movement. I mean, you feel like you can go pretty much anywhere. You do run into invisible walls if you get into an area that it's like, nah, you really shouldn't be here. But even that's pretty minimal and not as frustrating as it probably should be. Because you do have stuff to do and you don't want to be, come on now. You don't want to be doing this all day long, just exploring the environment. But they do make exploration worthwhile. So, as far as how often do I find those little statues, see there's an invisible. How often do I find those statues that are worth cash money? I've been playing this for 2 weeks now and I found one. So, yeah, it's not a huge payoff for exploration, but it's worth it. The maps are cool. It's good practice to jump around. So, do I think I'm going to find one in this playthrough? No, probably not. But it's worth it. I know it's probably not the most exciting thing to watch. You guys want the straight action. Get in there, murder everything, and get out. But, yeah, nah. I'm here to build stuff. This little pistol thing I built. This sword I did not. You can buy blueprints. You can actually join guilds of other players. And those guilds will... Yeah, that's an angry girl. See, that hurt me even from there. Those guilds have access to different weapons and different blueprints, and then you buy the blueprint and then you farm the equipment that you need, or the parts that you need, the components, and then you build it. And it's usually, oh god, it takes forever. So the downsides, this can definitely be a stinking grind fest. Oh god, this is like the worst grind fest. When it comes to trying to build stuff you want to build, and oh, it's not an angry barrel. Okay, so I got somebody up there. Yeah, I mean you grind for absolutely everything, but in most cases, like especially the extermination missions, the grind is actually pretty fun. So I don't mind that so much. Where is the? I guess I use this. Control console is not working. You guys should fix your mess. Come on now. Oh, hey, where'd you come from? So anyway, yeah, Grindfest. Ooh. The other thing about this bow is it will punch through walls as long as you are on the target. Oh yeah. Which is why sometimes you can get kills out of here. Because you're shooting through the... Yeah, like that. You're shooting through the hull of the ship. And of course when you kill them, they fall out of the ship. And get all grouchy. Where'd you go? So anyway, sorry, I lost track of my track of thought when that big old ship came by, because those are always fun. This character would be absolutely terrifying to go up against. Really? Oh! Holy moly, he actually got a hit on me. You see that? That's crazy. That's like the first time in forever. Did I need to use that energy? No. Did I want to? What now? A Pepe? Dang, these guys are all about putting the stomp down now. Anybody else? No. Anybody? Anybody? Oh, I see you peeking. I see you peeking. What kind of sci-fi robot peeks around a corner? Come on now. And that barrel just appeared. Yeah, you ain't touching that alarm button. Don't even think about it. Weak.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
Oh, I only had to kill 73 of them? Aw. You guys are fun to kill. You'll notice I've already been in there and been in this room, but this is just a duplicate of the other room. I mean, it's they just reused that same resource. But hey, it's a free game, people. Don't get all salty. Because I know where the secrets are in here, and maybe I'll get lucky and get one of those crazy artifact things that I can sell for real money. Alright, around. There we go. Artifacts never pop out of here, they're always just sitting out. Ooh, but these jewels, these are what you decorate the artifact with. And, ouch, Angry Barrel. Once decorated, they sell for more. So all you do is get on the chat feature here, and there's a section for trading, and you just advise, you know, I want 5 plat, or I think they usually sell for 5 plat. At least they used to. 5 platinum for this here crazy statue that, as far as I can tell, doesn't seem to do anything, and has a bunch of jewels on it that continue to not do anything. And people are like, yeah, oh yeah, I'll give you money for that. That's awesome. And I'm like, okay, what's your money, bro? So, definitely not gonna complain. And maybe they do something cool and I'm just dumb. That is entirely possible too. I don't know. I thought I saw somebody running around down here. Ooh. Cash money. No, it's just credits. You do use credits in all of your upgrading. So, this game has a very, like, ridiculously robust upgrading system. And I've kind of discussed a little bit of it. But you can do all kinds of ridiculous things to your weapons. So, like this little pistol I just built, this little guy. There is a mod that you can pick up, and they drop randomly from enemies, that would turn that into a stealth weapon. Like, it will you can unleash on somebody, and his buddy will be standing right next to him, and they won't hear a dang thing. So, come here. Where are you going? Make me run. What are you doing? So yeah, I mean, you can apply stealth features. You can apply different elemental damages like cold, electricity. And different enemies are weak to different sorts of elemental damage. I'm not there yet. I think it is Mars that I will run into these weird, corrupted enemies. And they are weak to fire, so you want to start getting fire stuff because those guys will swarm you. It's kind of like the Flood in Halo. They will friggin' swarm you. I mean, there are so many of them that they just kind of nibble your health to death. Those guys... come on, get in there. Those guys you actually have to be careful with. But as far as control schemes, if other games had this control scheme, like if you could play a Batman game and have this kind of just absolute mastery of everything around you. I mean, I understand Batman has some cool control schemes, but dude, this game is so fluid, and you just walk through enemies like they're not even there. It's an absolute blast. And it's that kind of power trip thing that after a long day of frustrations and garbage that you deal with, this is cathartic. It really is. So let's take a look real quick at how you modify your stuff. So after a mission, sometimes you or your items will level up. So like this is my character, he's Excalibur. That's the name of the Tinno. It's the name of the suit or whatever. Up here it says capacity 1 of 17. So each one of these in the top right corner and they give you zero explanation to any of this. The top right corner, you have a number, so it says 2, and then it has this weird symbol, right? Some of these spots, let me just drop this one. Some of these spots have that little symbol there. That means that you get a bonus to using that there. It will not take as many of those numbers. It won't take up as much capacity as if you just dropped it in an empty slot right there. So you take that, drop that there, boom, it uses half, right? So now I have a capacity of 1 left on my character. Well, none of these are 1. You will never find a 1 as far as I know. So unless you have the weird little symbol in one of these boxes, you really can't do anything with it. So, and if you try to put the wrong symbol in the box, it actually takes up more space. So that's kind of what it is.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
Thank you, Ortis, you weird freaking thing. There needs to be like a mute Ortis button, because he gets obnoxious after a while. So, let's look at my little pistol. So, this little guy, he only has 1 capacity right now because it's a rank 4. They go up to rank 20, I think, and then you can use your platinum to buy a thing that'll double that, which doubles the damage output, doubles the amount of, I mean, it doubles everything. It's absolutely wonderful. So what I've put on this one is no return, which is puncture. So it has a piercing attack, and then in Hornet Strike, which ups the damage. You cannot put this on a sword. They're specifically made for, in this case, pistols, right? So you have to collect all these crazy things, but that's not a problem, because every time you do a mission, you'll get at least one of these, usually 2 or 3 or 4. And they're random drops. Sometimes you get really good ones. Often you will get these here that say flawed, so quick draw flawed. What that means is that it's not as scalable as some of the others, and it doesn't do the same amount of damage as the unflawed, the standard here. And then there's another level above these that you can get as well that are even better. And that's damage output or effect per capacity. The other thing you'll notice is at the bottom.
War, operator? Ortis seems to have misplaced those memories.
Oh, good for you. Don't you misplace yourself? Some of these, well, all of them. If you look at the bottom of the little card, they have little pips, right? They have like this one has 5 pips. This one has 3 pips at the bottom, right? Those are slots that you can use to upgrade that card. So here's Northwind down here. It does 15% cold damage for a melee attack. No pips are used, right? I haven't upgraded this one at all. This one I've upgraded, and now it does 60. So it went from 15 to 60 on 3 pips, and it still has 2 pips that I can add. So as your capacity increases, you decide between adding new effects, like Smite Grenier. That means it does a little extra damage to that faction, which personally I would rather do extra damage to all factions. So I usually don't use those as often, and instead I will put on like a Fury, which is attack speed, pressure point. This here does an additional 100% melee damage. So it's basically double damage, right? If my math isn't freaking retarded, I hate math, so I could just be stupid. But it is an improved attack, and you just add those pips, right? So this is my Exalted Blade. You can see I still have a ton of capacity. So what I can do is I can go in here and I can upgrade these. I can bump these up. So like Heavy Trauma does 15% impact. Northwind, of course, we saw that. Extra cold. Fury, Reach. The problem you run into is you can use these cards on multiple weapons, but if I have, like, let's say I have Northwind on my regular swords, and I have Northwind on my Exalted Blade, if I go in here and I upgrade this card, it takes extra capacity when you upgrade it. It may no longer function on the other sword, even though there's room here, there's capacity here on the Exalted Blade. So you kind of play with these, try to get the effects that you want. I don't have that stealth item yet to put on my Furus. You know, calling it a machine pistol is probably too difficult. So it's a Furus, and that's a Skana, and instead of calling it a single blade sword, whatever. So It's all the terminology that really kind of gets under your skin. This is your foundry. This is where you build stuff. You can build a 10-pack of replicant clones for missions that, and trust me, when you get up high in the higher level areas, you want all the help you can get, even if you're playing multiplayer. So you can have up to three other player characters come with you. But you can also use these dang things, which are basically NPCs that fight on your side, and you can just start dropping them, like drop them 10 at a time. Boom, you drop 10, they get wiped out, drop another 10, boom. But they're the items that you put into making them is pretty high, so I mean, it takes a few hours to gather all that stuff. This is my next build. My next item I want to build here. The dual skana that gives you a long, kind of the regular sword that I have, and then it gives you a shorter one. More damage output in multiple directions. The only thing I'm missing out of this is a Morphix, whatever that item is. So the only place you can get more Morphix is by either fighting a boss, which I already beat that boss, so I can't fight him again yet, or by going to Mars. So I'm working on getting to Mars. So I come over here to see what it takes to get to Mars. Here's Mars. You get there through Earth. So what I need to do is open up this Mars Junction. I have 2 of the 4 requirements met. So the 2 that I haven't met yet is complete the Mercury Junction and visit the Codex in your orbiter. So I've got to get to Mercury first, which is in the opposite direction. And I have to complete a mission on Mercury. Susie? I don't know. So I've got a mission on Mercury I have to beat, and I have to actually get to Mercury, and then I can go through this junction. So what do I need to do to get to Mercury? Okay, no problem. Here's Venus. We're trying to get to Mercury. I've met 2 of the 4 requirements here as well. I have to defeat Jackal at Fossa. Jackal is a pain in the butt for most people, but for this character with the Exalted Blade, goes down like freaking Coca-Cola, dude. And also I have to rescue a hostage at Linnea on Venus. So basically I just have to play a few more maps on Venus here. The other thing that they added while I was playing on the Switch, are open areas like Fortuna, or on Earth you have the plains of Eidolon. I don't know. Quit with the stupid Earth. You get to run around Earth, and it's Earth, but it's not because it's weird. But these open areas are typically much higher level than the rest of the maps that you play on that planet. So like these guys, level 1 to 3, this is like such a cakewalk. You don't even need you can just literally walk through and slap people, and you'll win that match, right? I mean, level 2 to 4, it's all very, very simple. But on here, even though you're on the same planet, populated with like levels 1 to 3, you're going to run into level 20s and 30s, and like it says, Grenier 10 to 30. These guys will slap you down. Like, you will be hitting them and won't even chip their health before they beat you down. It's just because you're not at their level yet. And you'll get missions to go out there, and those missions will be properly leveled, so you'll find a little encampment of like level 1 to 3s. But it'll be surrounded by these level 30s that are like bloodlusting, so you have to be careful where you go in there. But it's this huge open area. Unlike the more modular levels that you saw when I did the Exterminate, this is just this huge, massive open area. You can fish. You have the spear thing. You go spear fishing. You can collect resources. You can get your butt handed to you until you get up to level 20. So it is what it is. Let's look at a couple of the different missions. So you have Spy. On the Spy missions, you typically have 3 different tasks you need to complete without setting off the alarms. So you have to sneak in there. You'll have data you need to retrieve or something off of a computer that's locked in a room behind a room behind a room with all these enemies and sensors and stuff, and so you have to sneak your way in there without setting off the alarm. If you do get spotted or set off an alarm, you have a very short window of time to bust your way in there and download the data before they delete it, and you have to go to the next task, and you don't get as high a score or as many points. Interception, you have a bad guy that tries to run from you, and you catch him, he disappears into nanobites or whatever, and that's counted as catching. It's usually just to run him down and kill him, and it doesn't count as killing for some reason. Rescue, you have a guy in a prison cell, and kind of like the spy mission, if they see you, they'll kill him before you can get him out. But once you have him out, you escort him to the exit and win. So they're pretty similar. These are the fun ones here, defense. And that's not solo though. They're not as much fun solo. They're kind of difficult solo. But if you're playing online with a bunch of other people, you have open squads, you'll get other players that join in. And I don't know why my network's not responding. Is my internet down? You guys still hear me? Anyway, you'll get like 3 other Tenno, and you will just absolutely wreck house. Basically what this is you have a capsule, I don't even know what it is, sits in the middle of the map, you defend it. And you have waves and waves of enemies. The more waves you beat, the higher score you get, the harder the waves become, but you start getting cool items and stuff where you can unlock important stuff. So, let's see, I don't think I've unlocked this thing over here yet. Oh yeah, I have. Hey. Oh, no, I haven't. Void Relic. So, when you play those, you get Void Relics. Void Relics, it's basically kind of almost gambling. What you do is you can apply a Void Relic to certain missions, and that Void Relic will unlock cool items, but you have to beat the mission to get the items. So you're kind of, if you don't beat the mission, you lose that Void Relic. So you're kind of gambling on, am I going to win this mission or not? And they don't become available until the missions actually get a little more challenging. So there's also one random room that you only use like twice down here. It's got all these, see, this is the corruption or whatever it is that I was telling you about, where you get swarmed, kind of like the Flood in Halo. That's those things. And they're like, it's all weird and floppy and fleshy and gross, and they're nasty. I don't think you run across them until you get to Mars. So it is what it is. But this is Warframe. It's a convoluted, complex, annoyingly termed game that is absolutely made up for in its gameplay. When you actually get out there and just start beating enemies down. The movement, the weapons, everything. It is fun. I would recommend it. I recommend putting on your BS filters when it comes to them talking about everything. Let's see here. I'll show you some of the different Warframes you can get. So let's take a look here. See, yeah. Sidanas. Yeah, you can't even pronounce this shit. But this is basically the capes that you can wear. Armor sets. You can get different armors, different helmets. You get to Archwing. God, I hate Archwing missions. They tried to make a space, like a open area space flying thing in here, and it completely messes up their movement bonuses. I mean, you love playing movement stuff. Like, you love the way that, if I can speak English, you love the way that this game moves when you play, and when you put on an Archwing and you go into space, it's totally different, and it plays like crap. Don't like those missions, if you can't tell. So I'm looking for just straight up Warframes. Some of these you can only build if you're part of a dojo or part of a guild. Some of these you pay cash for. They add new ones all the stinking time. They all have special attacks, special things that make them unique. But some of them are better than others at the same thing. So, like, for instance, you've got this beast here, Rhino. He's one of the first ones, or one of the most common ones you can unlock earlier in the game. He's your tank. He is a big, freaking bulky, just tank. Runs in, does a lot of stomp attacks and things like that, where he knocks things down in an area of effect. Just tanks damage. But the character, where are you? Niza, this one right here. The chick dude, I guess it's supposed to be a guy, but it seems very feminine and creepy. It's like half the size of Rhino. But this sucker here is better at tanking than Rhino is. This dude has shields and health bar and everything that just plays into being absolutely unstoppable. There's also this crazy hula hoop thing that it wears on its back that you can take off and throw around. It does a ton of damage, and it ups your element, your resource for maintaining your shields or maintaining, like, for my character, the Exalted Blade. It would be like every time I kill somebody with the Exalted Blade, it gives me more time with the Exalted Blade. That's kind of what that ring does. It gives Nisa more time with the shields, and you can basically just run around fully shielded with that ring the entire match, and not, as long as you're killing enemies, and not have to worry about running out of anything. And it's basically so much better at tanking than Rhino is, even though it's half the size and wears a hula hoop on its back. So you kind of have to be careful which characters you want to pick. Like I said, each one's good at different things. Loki is good for sneaking. I think you can turn invisible and put duplicates of itself out and around. Hydroid is, it comes from the ocean depths. He attacks with, like, energy tentacles and gross weirdness. If you see an anime, you know where that's going. Ivara, that's one I want to get at some point. Ivara is your stealth sniper. So like bows and stuff, this thing will take a fool down. Ash is also a cool one. Ash is a stealth build. Pretty sneaky, pretty murdery. I like it. Excalibur, though, dude, this is you get to pick one of three mechs when you start the game. I will always pick Excalibur, and I always recommend other people pick Excalibur. My son, he's tried the other two characters, and he always has more difficulty because they are just not as freaking overpowered as Excalibur is. Excalibur has bonuses for using swords, and he comes with a sword, and he uses the Exalted Blade, but any sword you put in that dude's hand, you can put other weapons in there. You can use a bow staff, or you can use, but you put a sword in that thing's hand, and everything around it is just going to die. It's just murderous death. And it's been a while since I played this, and they've added some new things. Chroma, I know, was a really cool one to get if you like a magic style attacks. He changes his elemental damage at will, so this one character you can switch to whatever element is going to be most effective against who you're fighting at the time without leaving the match. So pretty effective, pretty cool. I've seen some long-term players really stomp with that character. Mesa is kind of a Wild West shooter. Pretty cool if you like pistols and stuff. There's a lot of options. Zephyr, this friggin' thing. I had this Tenno, this suit or whatever, this Warframe, and this dude flies and doesn't come down. Like, that's his specialty. It's kind of a glass cannon, but that dude just floats. It floats for days. I don't even think you need to touch the ground. You just float. It's ridiculous. Wukong is awesome with bow staffs. There's a lot of options. You can find something that fits your play style. And there's some weird ones in here. So just be careful what you pick. And a lot of these, like Ash, the only way to get the blueprint for Ash, I'm just kidding, apparently you can buy it for $35,000. Okay, previously, the way you would get the different components for Ash is to play certain missions. So you'd play stealth-based missions and you'd get components for that. Kind of like here, where I've gotten a piece of Ivara by playing certain missions. You can actually get the entire Warframe of Ivara, and then you can build it if you have the right components. A lot of these require components from further in your solar system. So instead of being here, there we go. You need to have access to like Europa or Ceres or Sedina or way in the heck out, right? You need to have clapped your way through the solar system until you can get to where you can unlock them. And so that's kind of how they keep brand new players from getting these high-end mechs or these high-end warframes. So it's kind of frustrating, and that's part of the grind. You can see I've only unlocked from here to here, but you can see how these planets connect to other ones too. You can see that little line appears to Mercury. Mercury will open to Saturn. That's right, he opens to Saturn, I think. Is Mercury a dead end? That seems different. So how do you get to... Oh, you have to go through Ceres. To Mars. Mars, Ceres, Jupiter. Jupiter opens up Europa and the Void, but the Void you have to beat Saturn. And anyway, it's a big mess. It's a grind fest. But it's a fun grind fest, and it's an excellent stress reliever. So, overall, yeah, 100% recommend this game. A lot of fun. I haven't really run across any toxic players. Everybody seems pretty chill. So yeah, I really recommend it. Give it a shot. Shoot, it's free. Like I said, just ignore all the sci-fi stuff they keep slapping you in the face. They just slap you in the face with it. Ignore that, and you'll have a great time just murdering everything in the vicinity and smiling about it. So I recommend it. It's one of those games where you're like, oh my god, did I just do that? Yeah, that's how this game plays. So I recommend it. Thanks for watching, and guys, be safe. Catch me on the